International Space Station, now just 52 meters apart, approaching the coast of Namibia, moving from southwest to northeast in an orbit inclined 51.6 degrees to either side of the equator. All of Dragon's systems continue to operate perfectly, approaching the 30-meter station keeping point some 5 minutes from now. Nestled inside the aft end, or the trunk, of the Dragon is the Bigelow Expandable Activity Module, the beam, 3,100 pounds, a habitat of a prototype that will be extracted from the trunk of Dragon in the wee hours next Saturday, April 16th, and installed on the aft port of the Tranquility Module to begin a 2-year stay at the International Space Station for testing of its ability to withstand the rigors of space. And installation next Saturday would set the stage for a likely date of May 26th or so, somewhere in that neighborhood, of the actual expansion of the module to its full volumetric measurement. The ingress by the crew, the first ingress into beam, would be 1 week after it's expanded to its full volume. Dragon now 41 meters away from the International Space Station.
Space Ground 2 at 40 meters. I will call the vehicle on camera 3-1 with port.
We copy.
Jeff Williams keeping tabs in the cupola on the relative position of Dragon towards the overlay that the crew is watching from the robotics workstation. Tim Peake will be the prime robotics operator to maneuver the Canadarm2 into position to grapple Dragon. Once again, this is the third cargo vehicle to arrive at the station in 15 days. 2 weeks ago, the orbital ATK Cygnus cargo craft arrived at the station and was installed on the Earth-facing port of the Unity module of the International Space Station. Last Saturday, the ISS Progress 63 cargo craft, the Russian resupply vehicle, arrived for an automated docking to the aft port of the Zvezda service module, and today it's Dragon's turn to be installed a bit later this morning at a parking place right next door to Cygnus, the first time that 2 U.S. commercial cargo vehicles will have resided at the International Space Station simultaneously, and this will be only the second time in station history that as many as 6 vehicles will be at the International Space Station, the only other time occurring in 2011 on the final. Cygnus, Dragon, 2 Progress resupply craft, and 2 Soyuz vehicles will all be at the International Space Station simultaneously. And the visiting vehicle officer here in Mission Control reports that Dragon is now holding at 30 meters. This typically would be about a 24-minute hold point to afford the engineers at the SpaceX Control Center in Hawthorne, California, that you see there in this view, an opportunity to assess Dragon systems, and for the flight control team here in Houston to do the same before Flight Director Amit Kshatriya here in Houston tags up with SpaceX Mission Director Paul Tompkins to get a final go for approach and capture. Dependent on the condition of Dragon systems, all of which are operating flawlessly.
Dragon is at the 30-meter hold. We are performing our assessments on the ground, and we'll let you know shortly when you are go to proceed with step 4 in 1.102.
Station copies. We're holding on step 4.
Once all the navigational computations are completed, it is possible that the final approach for capture could be initiated ahead of the current schedule. That would put us closer to the original timeline for capture. We're in a loss of our downlink television capability from the station for about the next 17 minutes or so, while we hand over to one satellite to another on the tracking and data relay satellite system. Again, all of Dragon's systems have operated to perfection to this point, as it sits passively at 30 meters away from the International Space Station. Flight controllers both here in Houston and in Hawthorne, California, assessing Dragon and assessing the point at which final approval will be given to resume terminal approach and capture of the cargo craft.
Station Houston on 2 for Dragon. Your go to confirm the 30-meter hold for step 4 in 1.102.
Station copies, and we can confirm VV mode is hold. Prime range is 30.8 and secondary range is 31.3. We'll leave the light as is for now, and step 3 is in work of 1.110.
We copy. Good readback.
SpaceX Mission Director Paul Tompkins in Hawthorne, California, has provided his approval to Flight Director Amit Kshatriya here in Mission Control for final approach for capture. We will be awaiting a final report from the crew Tim Peake and Jeff Williams in the cupola at the robotics workstation to make sure that they're all set to begin the maneuvering of the Canadarm2 into its grapple position. But everything is continuing to proceed very, very smoothly. All of Dragon's systems are rock solid.